Hello, I'm going to explain here the planetary influences for the Virgo ascendants during the month of February. So this explanation is based on Vedic astrology. So there are four planets which are mainly changing their positions during this month of February. So those planets are Sun, Mars, Mercury and Venus. Actually they are now conjuncted in the 5th house together prior to the month of February. 5th house resembles your children or your education and also your love affairs. So when it comes to your education, Mercury supports and the Sun also supports. Venus mixed influences, and finally the Mars it influence negatively, but in overall it's positive because more planets supports that. Then when it comes to your love affairs, Venus supports, the Sun supports, Mercury supports to start relationships well, but it doesn't help you to continue it well. Then Mars disturbs, so mixed influences. When it comes to your children, Mars and Sun, they exert malefic influences, negative influences, and the Mercury and Venus exerts positive influences. That also kind of mixed, but more negative because Sun and Mars are more powerful than the influences of Mercury and Venus. Also you have to note one thing, because in the beginning of the month, on 3rd of February and 6th of February, Mercury and Venus, they will transit to the 6th house respectively. But then lately, on 13th of February, Sun transits, and the 23rd of February, Mars transits. So that means after the departure of Mercury and Venus, Sun and the Mars, they are going to stay there. So those planets during that period, during their stay in the 5th house, they will exert malefic influences to the children of Virgo ascendants. And also after the departure of Sun on 13th February, so the time during between the 13th February to 23rd February, only the Mars is going to stay there in the 5th house. So that will really exert malefic influences for all the matters governed by 5th house for the children of Virgo ascendants, and also for the education of the Virgo ascendants, and not only that, also for the love affairs of Virgo ascendants, because Mars itself is not an auspicious planet to be in the 5th house. On the other hand, Mars resembles the matters governed by 8th house. Mars is the lord of 8th house. 8th house is the worst house in any birth chart, which resembles setbacks in life, sorrow, fall, and financial difficulties or problems, life-threatening situations, and many more negative matters of the life. So as it represents most of the negative things in life, it is resembled as the worst house in any birth chart. So lord of the 8th house of Virgo ascendants is the Mars. So when the Mars is in your 5th house, means now during the time between 13th February up to 23rd February, it is going to stay there alone. That brings more negative influences because it's solely influenced there. So it will influence negatively for the matters governed by 5th house. So now let's get back to the 6th house. So on 3rd of February, Mercury is going to arrive the 6th house. When it arrives, Rahu is already there. Rahu was there since 18th May 2026, and it will be there in the 6th house up to 5th December 2026. they influence in the long run. So Rahu helps you to succeed in your control of your subordinate in your workplace, and also to gain some kind of positive influences when it comes to your profession, and also it's supposed to have good health, and on the other hand it's supposed you to overcome your enemies. On 3rd February, Mercury arrives 6th house and it will stay there up to 11th April. So 6th house is not an auspicious place for the Mercury. It will exert negative influences there, mainly for your health, because normally it's regarded as not positive in the 6th house and the tumors, and it will also makes you weak in overcoming your enemies. Then on 6th February, the Venus arrives and it will stay there in the 6th house up to 2nd March. Venus also do the similar things, because it's not a good planet to be placed in 6th house. That also bring you illnesses, and that means you have to be cautious on your health. But when it comes to Sun, it's a good place for the Sun, the 6th house. The 6th house is regarded as an auspicious place for the Sun, because it gives you the ability to control your enemies, overcome your enemies, and also gives you the ability to control your subordinates at your workplace, also to get some kind of strength and power in your workplace. And on the other hand, it will influence you to have a good digestion of your food, because 6th house resembles your stomach and also the digestive system. Finally, the Mars arrives, because when the Sun arrives the 6th house, it will be staying there up to 15th March, and then the Mars arrives to the 6th house on 23rd February, and it will be staying there up to 2nd April. So what will be the impact? Even though it is regarded as an auspicious planet to be placed in 6th house, as it is a warm planet, but still the Mars represents the 8th house. As I said earlier, as it represents the 8th house, which is the worst house in any birth chart, it might bring bad or negative influence to your 6th house. So in overall, as a conjunction, what we can conclude from this conjunction is that it's negative in overall. The Rahu and the Sun is going to help you, especially when controlling your enemies, and also when it comes to control your subordinates in your workplace and so on. But when it comes to health, when it comes to health, Mercury, Venus and Mars acts in the other way, negative way. So 3 planets act against your health. So that means more planets. It's more negative than the positive. So you have to be cautious on your health, and also be cautious on your enemies mainly. So that would be the main impact when these planets are in your 6th house. So be cautious during the month of February for those matters mainly. These 4 planets govern 7 houses in your birth chart. They represent 7 houses. There could be some kind of slightly negative influence on those houses also. But I'm not going to explain those things in detail because you can watch the videos on the individual planetary transition. So under them I will be explaining them. But now when it comes, the main impact or main influences are these. So on the other hand, Saturn is in your 7th house during these days. That also a planet which influence long term. Because as I said you earlier, those 4 planets which were already in a conjunction and now they are about to form a conjunction in the 5th house. In the 5th house they form 5 planet conjunction. So anyway, these 4 planets, Saturn, not the Saturn, the Sun, Mars, Mercury and Venus, they influence in short run. Because when they arrive a place, they stay there only a short period time. Actually not staying, they are like moving faster. That means to completely move across a house or across a sign, it takes maybe 1 to 1.5 months. So they move fast. That's why it says that they exert short-term influences. But when it comes to the planet like Rahu, Saturn, Jupiter and the Ketu, they move slowly. For example, Rahu and Ketu, they move together. I mean, they transit also at the same time. So now Rahu is in the 6th house. It will be staying there up to 5th December 2026. It came there on 18th May 2025. So normally Rahu and Ketu, they are going to stay in a place about 1 year and 7 months, like that. Now these days Saturn is in your 7th house. It will be there up to 3rd June 2027. Normally Saturn stays around like 2.5 years in a single house. So now 7th house resembles all the matters related to your marriage. 7th house resembles the marriage of the people who are expected to get married, and also the Virgo ascendants who are already married, and those who are not married legally but living together for a long period of time. All those comes under 7th house. So Saturn is there in the long run. So it brings like Saturn sometimes helps you to get married, but it doesn't help you to continue that. So it brings you many problems, but at the same time it gives you some kind of power to face these problems, stand firmly and go through all these matters. Normally it is regarded as negative when the Saturn is in the 7th house, especially for the married people or the people who are living together for a long time, for those relationships and the people, the partners of Virgo ascendants. That's the negative part, giving so many troubles. But also at the same time, if your partner's birth charts are tallied with your birth chart, then the Saturn sometimes, it gives you the strength to face these challenges in your married life and go through them, and still continue your married life. And Jupiter is in your 10th house these days. It is in retrograde state, so it's not giving much help for your profession these days. But from the 11th March onwards up to 2nd June 2026, from 11th March to 2nd June, it will exert positive influence for your profession as well as for your marriage, because it can aspect the 7th house. The lord of the 7th house is the Jupiter. Now it is in retrograde state, so it's not giving much help. But from the 11th March onwards, it supports not only up to 2nd June. Even after that, from 2nd June to 31st October, Jupiter is going to be moving through your 11th house and also in exalted state. So it will be highly powerful there. 11th house resembles your income and social relationships. So all those matters governed by 11th house will be maximum, at their maximum, because you will get good income, high income during that period, sometimes increased income. Also you will come to know with high people in the society and get their assistance, and people or the society will respect you during that period. You will get respected, and even the aspect of the Jupiter during that period from the 2nd June up to 31st October is highly auspicious for your 7th house. 7th house resembles all the matters related to your marriage. Even if you are expected to be married, even if you are already married, whatever, the influences are positive from the Jupiter. By the time it's in the 11th house, means it's in the marriage triangle, and the lord of the 7th house also Jupiter. It has high influence there. So these are the things which I have to say you about the month of February. But this is kind of common general reading for the Virgo ascendant. But to get a more personalized and more accurate birth chart reading, you have to submit your birth chart to an astrologer, because your exact birth sign reveals the exact positioning of the planets at the sky at the time of your birth, and also their aspects and their states at that time. All those things were recorded in your birth chart. The story which were shown in the sky at the time of your birth about you, that is recorded in your birth chart, and those data, to transform those data into understandable information, you have to refer it to an astrologer. So to get a more accurate and more personalized birth chart reading, you have to submit your birth chart to an astrologer and get that reading. And even to cure from the malefic influences, you can get the remedies from him or her. So your birth chart reveals your destiny, but that's not a fixed destiny. You can change the negative, many of the negative things recorded in your destiny. That's why astrology also there to help you. So when you knew them early, you can overcome your weaknesses. You can increase your strengths. Also, then you can have a work plan and execute them, and you can overcome the negative things to come ahead, as you are informed them earlier by astrology readings. So then you can overcome them, and also you can successfully gain from the things to come ahead, gain from the positive things to come ahead in your life. That's the way to overcome or eradicate the many of the negative things which are which are already recorded in your birth chart. So you can eliminate many of them and succeed in your life with the help of astrology. Good luck.